Tony, look, so much boxing over the weekend. Let's break it down. Let's start with the card that we were at on DAZN, Leeds, First Direct Arena, which was bouncing right because of the England game, and then went a bit flat and then got a bit loud again when Josh Warrington came out. Let's start with the main event, Josh Warrington versus Luis Alberto Lopez. Josh losing his belts by majority decision. Scores of 114, 114, 115, 113 twice. You were ringside, you scored it. What did you score it?
I scored it a draw, Addy, but my overall reflection of it was, if anyone's done enough to get this here, it's Lopez.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know the mad thing is, when we came out after the fight, I bumped into Josh's dad and had a couple of minute chat with him, and I just said, how'd you see it? And he said to me, how did I see it first and foremost? And I said, I'm not going to lie to you, I did a draw. I said, and the resounding feeling was, if anyone was going to get that, it was him. It was Lopez. And he said to me, I had a draw also, Tone. So I was happy because it let me know my scoring's not bang out of line, or did it let me know my scoring's bang out of line? If his dad had a draw, does that mean I'm way out? You know, I don't know. So I don't know. I just thought it was definitely a fight of two halves. He started too slow, and I just think he got hit early in the fight and it made him wary. But then he got backed into a position midway in the fight where he thought, if I don't get going here, I'm going to have to get a knockout to win. And that's why I think he started chasing and pushing the fight. But it was a really good fight, let's just be honest. And we were all on a bit of a low on, if I'm being totally honest, after what happened with the England game. So it's just one of them, mate. It's a bad night for everyone involved.
Yeah, look, I gave Josh the last 3 rounds. I thought he dug deep and he made it dirty and scrappy. And look, some people don't like that. And I'm like, look, do what you got to do to win. Whatever you got to do to keep your belt, do. But I just think the early sort of 6 or 7 rounds, you probably give Lopez the majority of those. And I think that's where Josh lost the fight. He looked like he was hurt to the body. And Lopez is tricky, awkward, like throws punches from all weird angles. I think you said in the build-up, I don't think he knows what he's going to do next. And I think Josh took a while to kind of work him out. He's having a look, and maybe that having a look lasted a bit too long. And by then, the lead is too big. What does Josh do next? I mean, obviously, apart from a long break, spend time with the family over Christmas, what next? Does he just go to America as a challenger? Is it Lee Wood at the City Ground or Ellen Road? What do you think's best?
It all depends on what ambition he has left, Addy. Listen, he's been a 2-time world champion. He's earned a few quid. I know he harbours these feelings towards wanting to go abroad and take his fan base abroad, but believe you me, in the positions that Josh Warrington's been in, he ain't going to want to go abroad and be the B-side. And that's something you've got to take into context here. This guy's been the A-side for big portions of his career. Even when he's been the underdog, he's been the A-side because of what he brings to the table. So he's going to have to weigh it up. I mean, I really like Josh Warrington. I think he's a really good fighter. He's got solid foundations. But you have to ask yourself, why are you still doing this, mate? Because it can't just be for the fans, Addy. You don't put your health at risk for the fans. So does he really see himself being a world champion? Does he still see himself in the top echelon of the featherweight division? I don't know. Only can answer them questions. But Lopez was quality. Do not detract and take anything away from that man. The head clash that happened, I've seen a lot of fans and social media having their kick and having their way about it. Head clashes do happen. It's just very unfortunate it's happened in the last few fights for Josh on the spin. And make no mistake, I don't believe them head clashes are deliberate in no way, shape or form. Josh Warrington is not the kind of fighter who goes into headbutt people. But listen, they are happening too frequently. And whether that's a clash of styles, whether that's a fact of it's two aggressive fighters looking to get one over on each other, I don't know. But ultimately now Josh Warrington's got to regroup, take the time and think about the next opponent he's going to take on, because this one could be a defining fight in his whole career. You don't want him to go out on a bad note, in my opinion. So he's got to be very, very careful with the next opponents he chooses.
Yeah, look, I've heard some interviews from Josh recently after the fight, and he's definitely going to continue. He wants to continue. But it's the case, as you say, what next? Is it Lee Wood? Is it Michael Conlan? Is it Leo Santa Cruz or anyone else in America? One thing we do know, though, is that he's got a massive fan base. So wherever he goes, the Leeds fans will follow him. You know, Tone, we haven't really spoke too much about Luis Alberto Lopez. Obviously, look, this is a guy that's lost twice when he challenged for, you know, around fringe world level. Now he's a world champion, though. Now he's the IBF champion. When you look at matchups for him, where is he going to go? A lot of talk about where Josh goes. Where does Lopez go?
I mean, once you become a world champion, are the master of your own destiny. you're supposed to be, as long as rematch clauses are avoided. I know he's heavily backed by Top Rank, but let's just put our matchmaking glasses on here for a second. Mate, who doesn't want to see an all-Mexican showdown? Mauricio Lara against Lopez.
You just want to see carnage. Carnage in the ring.
I just want to see a ruckus. A
big, dangerous ruckus. That Lara is dangerous. And as for Lopez, I've told you, he's the Paulo one-chop of boxing. He has not got a clue what he's going to do next, but it's so intriguing to watch him figure it out. There was moments in that Josh Warrington fight where I was going, and you're pulling away from the shot, and you think, the swings that are coming round. He's orthodox one minute, he's southpaw the next. Imagine Mauricio Lara teeing off on him though, because I'll tell you now, his chin's in the air. He's there. He's there. So just make the fights.
I like it, an all-Mexican war. Ebony Bridges was the co-main event against Shannon O'Connell, an all-Aussie affair. The IBF bantamweight title up for grabs. Ebony hurt in the first round. Me and you were ringside. She was definitely rocked in the first round. She regrouped. And look, what I will say about Ebony, look, she's not, in terms of boxing, beautiful. She isn't a Clarissa Shields. She isn't a Katie Taylor. But she's gritty. She's determined. She only goes one way. And I think we're seeing, to be fair, a better Ebony Bridges under Mark Tibbs than when we first saw Ebony, a year and a half ago when she fought Shannon Courtney.
Full credit to Mark Tibbs and Ebony Bridges. Ebony Bridges upside to move over to the other side of the world, and she improves her game. From the Cecilia Roman fight, there's been improvement from there. I think the stick she gets and the abuse she receives from other female fighters is unfair, to be honest. Okay, she dresses a little bit differently at weigh-ins, big deal, who cares? So what? I don't really care about what goes on at weigh-ins. I care about what you do when you get in the ring. And I'll tell you right now, mate, this girl is a problem. Ain't no one keeping this girl off. Her work rate is insane. She gets stuck right in. I've just been at a big meeting with a gang of guys, and I'm not going to lie, all of them are saying, see them two girls going for it on Saturday, they were knocking 10 bells out of each other. That's a big group of lads talking, and I was like, they were brilliant. So O'Connell was really brave. Too brave, if I'm being totally honest. I think she took too much. I think it could have been stopped maybe a round earlier. She was out on her feet a number of occasions. I think she was allowed to continue for so long, Eddie, because she got the reaction out of Ebony Bridges in that first round. She definitely hurt her.
Oh, 100%.
Ebony was tough.
Really, really tough, dogged, determined. She just got stuck right in, and she did not let O'Connell off the leash. And fair play, mate, I've got to give her credit. I thought this was going to be the toughest fight of her career. O'Connell's been a world champion before. She's been to the heights of the sport. But this was the first time you've got two females, both from Australia, going against each other. It's the biggest female all-Australian clash ever. There's a lot of egos at stake. There's a lot of machismo and anger towards each other. The build-up in the background got a bit nasty at times, and that brings a whole different pressure. And I think for Ebony to win that one, it's a big one off her chest, to be honest. I think she's done really well.
Yeah, she has. And look, they're talking about Nina Hughes, maybe unification, Shannon Courtney in the summer. So already you can see the bigger picture for Ebony Bridges, and well done to her. Fantastic win. Also on the card, I just want to quickly mention Felix Cash. Obviously took on Neves. It was supposed to be a stay busy fight as we look forward to maybe that fight against Ammo Williams. It wasn't the best performance from Felix Cash. Look, he has been out of the ring a long time, whether it be sort of not making weight, struggling with the weight, fights being pulled. What did you make of Felix Cash's performance? It looked like he was going to get Neves out of there, and in the end went the full 8 rounds. He
looked like he was really strong early doors. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, Felix just ran out of ideas. That's the top and bottom of it. I think Felix is a good fighter. I think he's an improving fighter. I think we've seen the best of him against Madiev. And going forward, he's going to have to be a bit cuter with his work. He's going to have to learn to set up attacks, because he's not going to get rid of guys with the attacks that he was placing against Neves. These guys see them coming a mile away. They're extremely durable, and they just they don't. I don't want to use the word survive, because that's wrong to use that word for Neves, but they just navigate their way through a fight quite easily. And you've got to be able to set up attacks, be a bit more cuter, maybe touch a little uppercut in to lift his head up, and then smash him underneath to the body. It's them little things that come with experience. Felix Cash is a fighter learning on the job. He's got a fantastic coach in his corner in Tony Sims. And as I said, he's got to put it into practice better. What he's doing, the form he's showing in the gym, the things that he's doing with the sparring partners, he's now got to start taking into fights, Addy. It's not just good enough in the gym. He has to go through the levels in the ring on fight night.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I think we've seen a really good Felix Cash performance. The last one was Dental Bentley. We are going to need to see better against a good Ammo Williams, unbeaten Ammo Williams, if he really wants to go onto that world scene. A few hours away, Michael Conlan was in action against Kareem Guerfi, former European featherweight champion. It's been a good couple of wins for Michael Conlan since that Leewood fight. Mariaga, now fit Kareem Guerfi, knocked Kareem out in the first round. He wants the big fights as well. So we were talking about what next for Josh, what next for Lee. Could be a rematch with Michael Conlan for Leewood. It could be a Josh Warrington showdown for Michael Conlan.
I think, once again, for someone like Michael Conlan, very similar to Josh Warrington, you will be able to determine your own destiny when you sell tickets. When you fill arenas, you are in a lot more control. And Michael Conlan fills arenas. Josh Warrington fills arenas. So they're always going to be given opportunities. It's just about how much they want it. I think Michael Conlan's a world champion in waiting. I think he's an absolutely fantastic fighter. He carries himself like a world champion already.
Yeah.
That, that's just the way he is. And I'm not going to lie, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because, listen, people who don't carry themselves as world champions, they don't become world champions. Don't be walking around with your head down thinking less of yourself, thinking that you can't do it. You'd think this boy was a 4-time world champion already over. And I love that. So, we'll see. Guerfi should have been someone who was there after 5 or 6 rounds testing Conlan. But Conlan just went in there and smashed away at him.
Yeah, honestly,
it was easy work, Andy. Let's not dress it up any way, shape or form. It was a beat down, and it was a quick beat down as well. Conlan's beat the man in front of him. I can't wait to see his journey unfold. I'm looking forward to seeing him become world champion. I was there the night Carl Frampton defeated Kiko Martinez. I was working that night, and to see when the Irish get behind one of their own, it's unbelievable. I can't wait to see it when Katie Taylor comes home. Imagine it, Addy.
Oh, Croke Park, 80,000. Please let it happen in 2023. Quickly one on Michael Conlan. I still think he's undersized for featherweight. I think he's a super bantam, but he handles himself. He can box. We know that. And I think if you see the knockout against Kareem Guerfi, you go and watch it. He can punch as well. So good luck to Michael Conlan in 2023. All right, let's cross over to America. A couple of big fights there. I want to start with the one in New York. Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin caused one of the biggest upsets last year when he beat Mikey Garcia. We covered one of these fights as well. DAZN in Bilbao when he beat Jose Felix. This was a step up against Teofimo, or so it was supposed to be. Teofimo won it by split decision. I thought Teofimo did win it. More about the fight a bit later. I want to get your thoughts on what he said after the fight. The cameras picked him up when he was asking a member of his team if he still has it. He says, "Have I still got it?" You're a former fighter, Tony. I mean, you will go through those highs and lows. When you are a wonder kid like Teo and you're struggling of recent. What do you make of his comments?
Do you know what, Addy? He's just a fighter talking out loud. That's all he is. Every fighter has them same emotions. Every fighter has them same feelings. Just that they're not all as honest as he is. And it was refreshing to see, to be honest. He's a world-class fighter. And he's just hasn't performed to the expected levels that he expected from himself. That's all it is. He just hasn't performed to the levels he expected. But Sandor Martin, the thing with him is he has that massive upset victory over Mikey Garcia. Now that puts him in a place where he's kind of unknown before the Mikey Garcia fight. And Mikey Garcia should never be up at that weight, by the way. And I'll just say it as I see it. But when Sandor Martin then defeats Mikey Garcia, he's then on a level where people know who he is, knows what he's about. So Sandor Martin ain't shocking no one again, because everyone knows who Sandor Martin is. Everyone knows and can study his style. Tio's gone into that fight knowing who Sandor is, studied his style, but it's just a bad clash of styles for him. That style doesn't suit his, and it ain't gelled. And he's disappointed in the fact of he's probably gone into that fight thinking, I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to absolutely obliterate you. And when that hasn't gone to plan, he's massively disappointed in himself. I made this point numerous times and I'll make it again. Just because a fighter does better than everyone expects doesn't mean he's won. Just let that sink in to everyone who's listening and watching us. Just because Sandor Martin done better than we expected, it does not mean he beat Teofimo Lopez. I've seen this with fighters over the years in numerous fights. When a fighter gets in and he's an overwhelming underdog, just because he stayed after 12 rounds and he gave an okay performance, it doesn't mean he won. Stop it. I mean, I remember people saying Carlos Baldomir beat Floyd Mayweather. I remember saying Jose Luis Castillo beat Floyd Mayweather. No, he didn't. I'm sorry, he just didn't beat him. He got outboxed. And you just got to accept that sometimes. He didn't. Just because he done better doesn't mean he won. I get what Teofimo Lopez is saying. He's disappointed in himself. He's disappointed in the performance. Believe you me, son, you are a world-class fighter. You, lad, beat one of the best fighters that I've ever seen in my life, in Vasily Lomachenko.
Tony, did that win come too soon? Like, every time I look at Teo, I almost feel like either that win came too soon and he couldn't handle it, or he hasn't been able to handle the loss against Kambosos. Because there clearly is something not quite right.
It's a bit of both, Ade.
Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah.
It's a bit of both. Yeah, when you defeat the odds like he did against Vasily Lomachenko, and bear in once again, that's another fight. I mean, if Vasily Lomachenko doesn't start so slow, he wins that fight, but he doesn't. And the expectation level for Teofimo Lopez after that fight is astronomical. No matter what he'd done after that Vasily Lomachenko win, he could not have pleased anyone. No matter what he'd done, Ade, you can't win. And then to have the loss to Kambosos, where you're such a favourite again, is it's devastating. So he's felt the highest of highs. He's felt the lowest of lows. He doesn't have no balance at the minute. There's no middle ground for him to sustain at, and that's the problem with fighters these days. You always need to stay in the middle ground. You're never as great as you think when you're right up there winning, and you're never as poor as you believe when you're down there losing. Try and maintain that middle ground.
Yeah, that was a final eliminator for the WBC title that Regis Prograis has right now. I wonder if they're going to maybe try and do one more before Teofimo takes on Regis Prograis. Tone, very, very quick, a word on Terence Crawford. Knocked out David Avanesian in the 6th round. Terence gives you a chance, gives you an opportunity, but I said to someone the other day, Terence has more tools in his tool bag than anyone. So even if he gives you an opportunity, he's going to show you tools that you've never seen before. And in the end, he was just a level above Avanesian, who put on a good performance, but there's a reason why everyone thinks Terence is, at worst, pound for pound top 3.
Ade, let's just be totally honest, mate. He's got more tools than B&Q.
He's absolutely unbelievable. So
let's just be straight up and honest. David Avanesian is a good, solid European level fighter. You're in there with a pound for pound quality top 3 fighters. He's unbelievable. So it didn't shock me. See, the thing with Bud is he likes to lead you into a false sense of security, and he likes you to think, oh, you're in this. And then he just goes, you know what, mate, I've had enough, turn your lights out, good night.
That's exactly what it feels like for me. I'm so happy you said that, because I thought the same thing. He almost tricks you like, and then no. I don't want to do this anymore. I've got somewhere to go. Let's get this done. Let's get this done with.
Against Kell Brook?
I do.
He was getting the head jabbed off him at certain parts of the fight. The head was getting jabbed off. And when I was with Bud recently when we were doing Creed 3, he was sitting in the gym, and he says, Tone, that boy was jabbing my head off. I could not deal with his timing or speed. He said that to me about Kell Brook. He said, and then when I switched, I just dealt with him.
And I was like,
do you see what I'm saying? You're talking about an elite level fighter dealing with a world class fighter. And now people will go, you're either world class or you're not. There's levels.
There's even levels within world class. And he's top of the tree of it.
Class, and then there's an elite level fighter. An elite level fighter beats up world class fighters. That's the difference. That's how you know when someone's elite. That's purely there's world champions and there's elite level fighters. He's elite.
He certainly is. Big win for Terence Crawford. Fingers crossed it is. And I'm tired of talking about it, but fingers crossed it is the Errol Spence fight in 2023. He is a free agent. He can go wherever he wants to go. Let it be towards Errol Spence.